Good evening, everyone, from a very hot UK Bitcoin master. We have got scorching temperatures today. I guess you guys out in California are used to them, Rocky Palumbo, but we are not in the UK, so the temperatures that we've got, it's incredibly hot. And my office here is absolutely roasting. So welcome to the channel, everyone. As always, have a strong Bitcoin hand. Follow the right channels to build that strong hand. Today is the 25th of June, 2020. And great to have you all in the room. So let's have a quick look at who we've got in the room. I can see Adam Meister, proud Zionist Jew, is in the house. Pound the like button for the proud Zionist Jew, Adam's duplicate or his spare channel. Jean is in. Paul Rollau, my lovely wife Elaine is in. Buffy W, my daughter, I've seen Buffy. Zaza, who else have we got? Rocky Palumbo, I think I mentioned. Bitcoin Sue. Now you remember I spoke on the last show that Bitcoin Sue had just started getting into Bitcoin. Well, we've set her up with a YouTube channel. She knows nothing and yet she's in the chat there. So Sue, welcome to you. Great to have you with us. So pound the like button for Sue. Dan Newman is somebody that connected with me through my Facebook page, I believe, and said that he's watching all my videos out of hours, so to speak, because he's got a 1-year-old and he can't come on the live show. So Dan, you are welcome. Great that you're catching all the videos. Basically, welcome everyone. Pound the like button. That's really important. Like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel, bash the bell notification next to it so you get notified when I go live, and then just share it out. I would greatly appreciate it. What people don't understand is by clicking the like button, it keeps me or helps me to get up onto the right hand side of YouTube so that people can find these types of channels. And we need that for us to each play our individual part in helping that mass adoption of Bitcoin. So it's very important that you don't just watch the show, you play your part if you want Bitcoin to grow and create mass adoption. So you got a part to play as well. I've just seen Gary O'Connell in the house. Gary, great to have you here with us. Ignore Gary, people. He just likes to come out with silly comments. Gary, you're welcome, mate, but ignore his comments, peeps, won't you? But it is great to have Gary in. And for those that don't know, Gary is the guy that gave me a call and told me about Bitcoin 3 years ago. So I will be eternally grateful that he spent an hour and 3/4 on the phone when we were living down in the sunshine in the Canaries trying to convince my lovely wife Elaine that this was a good idea. So Gary, you're really, really welcome. Okay, so quickly you can see the disclaimer up there. Look, if you are new to this channel, if you are watching this in the future, please don't take anything I say as financial advice. You must get in the rabbit hole. You must do your own research, draw your own conclusions, and then only invest if you feel there's something for you and it's your decision and nobody else's, and only invest what you can afford to lose. Look, Bitcoin is 11 years old, so it's new. in terms of the history of money. So it could fail. Now, forgive me, many of us believe there's no way it's going to fail, otherwise it wouldn't have lasted 11 years, but it could fail. So therefore, if it did fail, you need to know that when all that Bitcoin's gone, you can still carry on life as you've always carried it on. So important you don't load credit cards, take out loans, remortgage your house. Don't do it, people. Yeah. Financial advice I'm not giving, and don't invest what you cannot afford to lose. Check out my website, ukbitcoinmaster.com. That just links to my YouTube channel where you'll find all the videos I've ever done, and bitcoininterviews.com. Now, unfortunately, I'm not Bitcoin Meister, who does every single week. He's got 3 or 4 guests, 2 or 3 guests on his show, and he's got hundreds and hundreds of interviews. For me, I've done around 20 odd to date, including Proud Zionist Jew or Bitcoin Meister. I've interviewed him, Rocky Palumbo, some of the greatest thought leaders in the Bitcoin space, in my opinion. People like Gabriel Devine, Ansel Lindner, Vortex, BTC Benny. Crikey, there's loads of them. So it is worth checking those interviews out, all revolving around Bitcoin, at bitcoininterviews.com. And finally, if anybody wants to drop a lightning tip, there is the tipping address, tipping.me at UK Bitcoin Master. You know, you don't need to send any lightning tips, people. I would prefer it if you just retweet this out if you feel it worthy of that, is all I would say. And for those of you that are regulars that keep coming to the show, I'm guessing you're finding it is worthy. So therefore, please, maybe just tweet it out and say, hey, check this guy out, you know, a good, clean, honest show, whatever you want to say, I don't care, but please do try and tweet it out. Okay, so that said, before I take you off full screen, I just want to get you all to have a look at this lovely Bitcoin bracelet. Can you see that? I normally show it when I'm explaining Dan's Just Learn Bitcoin, but that's just a wicked talking point when people say, what does the B stand for? Now, I'm fortunate, it could be Brian, but if you're wearing it and your name's Adam, it's not going to be B, is it? So, you know, the idea is, how do we generate conversation around Bitcoin? Wear t-shirts, get some of the stuff that Dan's got on Just Learn Bitcoin, and we'll look at that a little bit later. So without further ado, let's get over to the old desktop and let's see what we've got going on over there. Quick look at the price, as I always do. You shouldn't be looking at the price all the time, people, because Bitcoin is seriously volatile. Sue, you need to be listening to me. Bitcoin can crash 1,000. It can go up 1,000. We've seen it. We're going to see more. We're going to see bigger crashes and bigger pumps as it climbs in value. But right now, about 9.3, down 0.026% in the last 24 hours. But what I want to do for the newbies that might be watching this is, let's take a look at the 5-day chart and look. What we try to do, you know, and we're not heavy on it, is, and Elaine said it, I bought some Bitcoin today, I bought the dip. If we see a chunk of red candles, we'll go in and buy something. You know, it's better than buying it at green and then you see the reds and your psychology is all wrong. So, but what you want to do is zoom out, excuse me, and look at what Bitcoin's been doing since inception. It says here about 2010. So, you know, you can see over on the far right, it's just going sideways a little bit. It did that after the 2016 halving. You know, buy the dip, stack Satoshis, people, because at some point, and no one knows when, that thing's going to go loopy. So it could actually drop down a chunk there and then turn and go up again. So you can't predict it. Don't try. We just look at the short-term candles, and if there's some reds, we'll buy and do a bit of dollar cost averaging. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. I found some articles to share with you. Now, remember, I am certainly not an expert. I'm learning every day. I don't delve into these articles in great depth. The idea is you should check out the notes section afterwards. Click on the links in the notes, find the article and read it yourself. That's the idea. So this one from Decrypt, very respectable publication. If large investors put 1% in or on Bitcoin, what would its price be? Okay, let me move that out of the way because that's in the way. I think I highlighted something here. Maybe I didn't. I think I've lost it. But Masari analyst Ryan Watkins said that an influx of institutional investors money could push Bitcoin's price to over 50,000. If institutions allocate just 1% of their funds to Bitcoin, its market cap would also exceed 1 trillion. So 1 trillion market cap, $50,000 Bitcoin. Personally, and it's just an opinion, I feel over the coming 5 to 10 years, it will be multiples of 1 trillion, which is why we know, without knowing, if you understand, that there's a damn good chance that Bitcoin could go to 500,000, million. None of us really know, but is that worth a punt and invest in a little bit of Bitcoin? I would say most definitely. Hedge funds with flexible capital allocation policies are most likely to invest in Bitcoin, he claimed. So, when you hear of billionaires and hedge fund managers and VCs investing in Bitcoin and talking about it publicly, that can only be good for the space. JC Botha from South Africa, welcome to the show, my man. Always good to have you here. Pound the like button. So there's a really positive article around what could happen to Bitcoin. And here's a thought for you all. When one piles in, everybody suffers what we call FOMO, fear of missing out. And then they'll all start to pile in. When one billionaire piles in, some other billionaires pile in. You got the Winklevi twins, billionaires and vying to be the first Bitcoin trillionaires. Okay, so as more and more big hitters hear about Bitcoin, see Bitcoin, you're going to start to get this adoption taking place. Can we predict when that's going to happen? No, we can't, which is why the headline at the intro video said, and I quote, Bitcoin will do what it's going to do when it's going to do it, and you and I won't influence it. Some of the big whales can, but you and I, refer to as minnows, we will not influence it. So a good positive article around Bitcoin. Warning, safe haven status leaves the dollar vulnerable to Bitcoin. Elaine, I don't know if Pastor Phil is in the house, but Phil, if you are with us, strong hand, my man. Pound the like button for the pastor who's normally with us, but he can't normally listen until the following day because he's watching at work. So he's watching, not listening. So what is this one about? A macro strategist for Deutsche Bank has raised concerns over the dollar losing its safe haven status if another wave of the pandemic strikes the US. If the current global reserve currency continues to wane as an emergency currency, could Bitcoin eventually step into that role? Again, we don't know what's going to happen, but these are the types of headlines that we're seeing. We are not seeing headlines like Bitcoin's a scam, Bitcoin's a Ponzi scheme, stay away from, there's plenty of them out there. But if you're following the right information, the right content creators, the right publications, that is going to help you build your strong Bitcoin hand. Mrs. Elaine UK, can't hear you when you lean forward. Whoa, hello, sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. Maybe you can put in the chat if you can. Oh, by the way, people, what people don't understand is there is a difference of around 20 to 30 seconds from when I speak now to when you guys hear that. Okay, so if you pop something in the chat, I'm already way past that by nearly half a minute. So just keep that one in mind. There's a 20 to 30 second delay from my live streaming software actually hitting YouTube. So sometimes it throws it out a little bit and I'm missing threads. Just thought I would point that out. Pound that like button, people. Strong hand. That's the name of the game on this channel. What else? Well, the reason I didn't make this the headline is because, all the normal content creators have already talked this to death on their shows. But the point is, PayPal slammed and knocked Bitcoin when I first got involved in 2017. And here we are just 3 short years later, and both them and Venmo potentially now looking to roll out crypto purchasing. you know, imagine another 2 to 3 years. Hang on, UK Bitcoin Master. That was written when you advertised the bracelet. Thanks, Elaine. Yeah, of course, my microphone's here, and if I lean past it, you won't hear me so well because it's not what we call omnidirectional. It is just sat here. Okay, so sorry about that. So times are a-changing, people. And I'll show you something in a minute that reinforces why I believe you need to get yourself into the Bitcoin overlay. Peter Brand, I believe he's a trader. Put 10% of your profits in Bitcoin and don't have faith in XRP. Don't I just agree with that one? I really do. And so what is he saying here? In response to a discussion initiated by economist Trin Nguyen about the distribution of global wealth, legendary trader Peter Brand made a series of investment recommendations about Bitcoin and XRP, I believe. Yeah, it's just out of shot there. The Economist stated in a tweet that the generation known as baby boomers, that's me, that is people over 60 years old, had 21% of wealth by midlife. Now, the millennials, people between 28 and 40, own only 3%. Did it go on? Yes, it did. Brand said this is a consequence of poor financial education from one generation excuse me, to the next. In addition, he advised his millennial supporters to cut back on unnecessary things such as Starbucks coffee and the like, and said invest into Bitcoin. Now, doesn't seem like a lot, but imagine 5 or 10 years of, instead of putting that couple of dollars or pounds into a Starbucks, you actually put that into a little bit of Bitcoin. It's actually amazing. And when you see how early we are in all of this, I always say this, and Sue, you're brand new, so hear this. There was an article several shows ago that said that if you own 0.28 of a Bitcoin, that's not even 0.3 of a Bitcoin, you will be in the top 1% of billion wealthy in the future. So, you know, as Adam says, aim for 1 Bitcoin. See if you can make that happen. Now, as the price goes up, it's going to get harder for the common man. That's why you want to buy it when the price is down. When you hit 1, is there a way to hit 2, 5, 10? What is your strategy? Okay, so the more you can get in while the price is low, the more BTC you get for your fiat dollars or pounds spent. I can't emphasize that enough. So ignore Ripple, ignore all these altcoins that are the next flavor of the month. Sorry, Gary. Buy and hold Bitcoin, because Bitcoin on a percentage level is ultimately going to be the winner over the time. And if, by the way, if Bitcoin fails, I think we're done in terms of hard sound money that could be the future of money, store of value, etc. So I just personally don't think there's anything that's going to take Bitcoin down. Now, never say never. You know, you can't even turn the internet off these days. And if you do, of course, now we can move Bitcoin through satellite. So, you know, the innovation that's coming is absolutely incredible and a great time to be alive, as one of my tweets will show you a bit later. Hang on a sec. Bitcoin on exchanges hits a 2-year low. Hodlers in control. That is it, people. Buy and hold. Hodl means hold, if you're new or you're watching this in the future. I don't know why they got called hodlers, but even here, look, don't panic, just hodl. Yeah, I'm a hold sort of person, but just the same, this hodl is out there on Bitcoin, Twitter, crypto, etc. So what did I find here worth reading out to you all? I'm not going to show you these charts, I don't understand them. Bitcoin held on exchanges hit a 2-year low this month, according to data from Sentiment. A massive outflow of Bitcoin from exchanges is a sign of accumulation and signals investors' positive perception of the cryptocurrency. Bitcoin has been stuck in a range between 8.5 and 9.9 for over a month, much to the chagrin, whatever that is, I guess that's an American terminology, of traders. Looking at Bitcoin supply data, this range-bound price action may be byproduct of massive accumulation behind the scenes. Whatever you extrapolate from that, more and more people are seeing the value of buying Bitcoin, getting it off an exchange onto something like a Trezor. Sue's excited her Trezor's turned up today. Fantastic. And then keeping it offline, getting on with life and letting Bitcoin do what it does. And I just think that is the way forward. And that is really, you know, when you drill down what's going on with this article, more and more people are now seeing the absolute benefits and buying and holding and then accumulating when they can and getting on with life. Because here's the thing, you know, time flies. I was 21 once, I'm 61 now. It's like, you know, if you're 40, don't think the next 20 years won't come and go in a heartbeat, because they will. So the one thing you don't want to do is wish your life away so that the next 10 years can come, so that Bitcoin can be $500,000 or $1 million. Let it do what it's going to do. Let the innovation happen behind the scenes. Just accumulate where you can. Don't look at the price charts and get freaked out, and it will do what it's going to do. Because if you think that Bitcoin could drop $1,000 overnight like it has recently and then go up $1,000, what is going to happen when it's 100 grand? How are you going to feel when it drops 10 grand in a heartbeat? And you freak out. But yet if you hold it, you know, maybe the next day or a few hours later, it bangs back up 10 grand, because that's the volatility of Bitcoin. Bitcoin to the moon down in Australia. Welcome, my man. What on earth are you doing awake? Hold on. 20 past. That's 20 past 3 in the morning. Mate, that is hardcore. Thanks for being with us, my great Aussie friend. Pound the like button for Australia in the room. Quick interlude, if I may, people. Dan from Just Learn Bitcoin. He is the CEO. He's down in Mexico. He's not well at the moment, so he doesn't come on many of the shows. So, you know, thoughts going out to Dan. He's got something going on that he can't seem to get on top of. So, Dan, our thoughts are with you if you watch this on Catch Up, my man. Why would you check out JustLearnBitcoin.com? Particularly if you're new, they've got all sorts of packages over there to help, from learning about Bitcoin, mining if you want to. I don't suggest you Bitcoin mine, wallet setup and backup, long-term storage solutions, end-of-life planning. It's all over there. Vanity addresses. If you sent your coins to the wrong chain, sometimes they can be got back. It is all over there. So do go and check them out. Now, quickly, there's the bracelets. If you go to btcbracelets.com, look at that. Love them. Look at the crowns around them. And you can see, if this comes up, there's a 25% off if you use that code that comes up when you're in there. If we go to the apparel store where you can buy all your merch, there we go. He's got hoodies. Oh, crikey. I couldn't bear wearing a hoodie right now. I would melt. I can't even wear my t-shirt. You won't want to get near me at the moment, people. I can tell you, it's roasting in here. But it's all over there. Beach towels. Yeah, I'll have that one, definitely. So do check it all out. Now, if you want a 15% discount on the apparel store, you need to put the coupon in BULLRUN, BULLRUN, all capital letters, no gaps, and you'll get 15% off. But what I want you to do, as always, and hold with me, because Bitcoin Meister mentioned something I'm going to share in a minute at the end of promoting what's happened to this lovely pastor. So if you actually scroll down inside the homepage here, you can see the black box that says help Phil get his Bitcoin back. It's not actually coming up. There it is. If you click that, it takes you to the site that talks about Pastor Phil, who's in the chat with us, how he was scammed out of 14.2 Bitcoin, and I hasten to add 500 Litecoin as well. So we're looking for people to support him. If you click on the family story, I would read this. Look, I'm going to scroll down. That is it. You could read that in under a minute, and it is well worth reading to see what this really lovely guy has done for his country, has done for disabled people. He's been a pastor in the church for 16 years. Just Dan is in the house. Welcome, Dan. Glad you could make it. Now, if you click and finally on the wallet info, there is the transaction ID of the scammer that took Phil's Bitcoin, along with all of the Bitcoin that Phil amassed since he started buying Bitcoin. So you can clearly see at the top of this narrow one, you can see the second line down on the right, 14 Bitcoin, the top one, 0 Bitcoin. He was hacked with something called a DNS attack. So if you click on the link at the bottom of any of these pages, it will take you to Tallycoin, if it loads, where you can make a donation if you like. We would love your support. Phil would love your support. But really great news on Adam's show the other day is that, I'm going to put this up. Adam interviewed a guy that 3 or 4 years ago, I believe, put something together to try and help people claim BTC or ETH that had been hacked back. Now, Phil has applied for this, which is awesome, but Grant, I believe his name was Adam, wasn't it? Grant stipulated on the show, no guarantees, but the more information you can give us, and if other people come forward that have been hacked and lost crypto, maybe they can build a portfolio, and whether there's something bigger going on, see, I did watch your show, Adam, bigger going on where they can nail something down, but there's no guarantee the Bitcoin or ETH could come back, and it might take a while to get it back even if you do. So keep that in mind. But I just wanted to publicize this because, again, the more we put it out there, the more people that have lost their Bitcoin or their crypto, they could reach out and maybe something might come back to them. So hope you didn't mind me sharing that with you all. Okay, a few tweets as we pull the show together. Those who didn't buy Bitcoin will wish they bought Bitcoin. Those who bought Bitcoin will wish they bought more Bitcoin. Those who bought more Bitcoin will wish they bought even more Bitcoin. Now, I know that's a flippant tweet, but it's true. As you get in that rabbit hole, you will see the price go up, and what will happen is you'll go, oh, I wish I'd have bought more. You'll see the green candles. It might not even be the big pump. And you'll say to yourself, oh, why didn't I get more? It happens. And no matter what you've got, you'll always wish you had more. But aim for that one Bitcoin, people. I'm telling you now, it won't let you down. No financial advice intended. Dennis Parker. Okay, now, what I want to say here is I'm not going to call this a scam like is on there. I just believe it's very scammy. Okay, so there is an individual that forked Bitcoin to his own coin called Bcash. We don't call it Bitcoin Cash. And then he owns the domain name BitcoinDotCom. And he set everything up so that you think you're buying Bitcoin when in fact you're buying Bcash. So be aware of this. Now, all Dennis is saying is, reminder after getting questions from confused new coiners, please share. Avoid Bitcoin.com. This scammy website is trying to convince Bitcoin newcomers into believing Bcash is Bitcoin. Bcash is just another altcoin and has nothing to do with Bitcoin. Tell your friends and please retweet this to avoid confusion in the Bitcoin community. Right on, Dennis. Right on. And you guys need to do that as well. So go and find Dennis's tweet there. Bcash is not Bitcoin. BSV is not Bitcoin. BTC is Bitcoin. No matter what these people want to tell you, don't let your friends be scammed into buying Bcash. Mark Yusko. Well, the greatest wealth is created by being an early investor in innovation. You people listening to this, how would you have liked to invested a few thousand in penny stocks in something like Apple or Google 20, 25 years ago? Yeah, a couple of grand in, maybe they were a cent, 25 cents, and you put a couple of grand in and you just left it. Yeah, this is what he's saying. Making that investment requires believing in something before the majority of people get it. I've said that millions of times. You'll be mocked. You'll be ridiculed. You'll be criticized for your non-consensus action. Don't follow the herd, people. Observe what the masses are doing and go in the opposite direction, because the masses, no disrespect to anyone that does this, but the masses, their life revolves around getting paid, paying their bills, maybe getting a takeaway in, watching blockbuster movies. That's showing my age now. Blockbuster's not even here anymore. Netflix, if you will. And they're not in that rabbit hole learning about innovation and learning how they can be ahead of the curve. If you want success in life, if you do not want to live life in mediocrity with no money and living from paycheck to paycheck, and sick and tired of no pay increases, and sick and tired of your boss telling you when you got to be at work, if you can have a lunch break, when you can go home, if you can have a holiday, you need to not follow the herd, people. And Bitcoin, in my opinion, is your very best opportunity to break out of that and be your own boss and create some level of financial security for you and your family. As he says, it is absolutely worth it. And I totally concur. Napola. Soon the economic fallout will pile up so high, new avenues will have to be explored. Allowing Bitcoin mainstream adoption and positively legislate previously banned sectors like medical cannabis to resuscitate the comatose debt-fueled economy. Fascinating times to be alive. In response to the article, again by Dennis Parker down there, that said Venezuela government is officially taking Bitcoin as payment for passports. Now, they're as corrupt as anything, but the point is, if you've got, whether this is true, you have to do your own research. If the Venezuelan government are actually accepting Bitcoin as payment for passports, my goodness, other countries will be watching that. And that is why I put articles like this up for you all. Heidi, blockchain chick. Don't agree with everything she talks about, but she has some great tweets out there. Incredibly bullish when billionaire Jim Rogers says governments will stop crypto. Why? Because this guy is bright and he does not understand Bitcoin at all. When he finally does get it, he will purchase Bitcoin at much higher prices. Boom. Says there, Jim Rogers discussion Bitcoin as money and why governments... And it goes on, right? So the point is, you cannot listen to people like Warren Buffett, this guy, those people that are definitely baby boomers, a lot older than me baby boomers, that are entrenched in conventional business. They do not want Bitcoin to rise and become what it's going to become. So they are going to say this sort of stuff. We had proof 3 years ago when JP Morgan's Jamie Dimon, when I first got into Bitcoin, Jamie Dimon said, I wouldn't touch it with a barge pole. If any of my employees are caught involved, they'll be sacked. Caitlin Long, if you don't know who Caitlin Long is, you should. She got out of JP Morgan. She was head of their pensions fund dealing with billion contracts and jumped straight into Bitcoin because she wanted something that was transparent, that was honest, that was good for the masses. And she's doing some great stuff down there in Wyoming. So do not listen to OGs like this individual. And finally, in the tweets, controversial character here, Mr. Andy Hoffman. Andy, the one thing he's got going is his background in bullion and Wall Street, etc. But unfortunately, he floats from whatever the flavor of the month is. He's now back into Bitcoin again. So, hey, listen, Andy, great to have you back in Bitcoin. But you know what? Stay with it this time. Only two scenarios are possible. One, infinite quantitative easing yields financial asset hyperinflation. Or two, it fails to support financial assets and money printing goes parabolic. Buy Bitcoin. So I do agree with what he is saying there. Okay, so as always, you know me and my positive quotes. I found this one. Have a clear vision of your future, not monetary. A clear vision of what your Bitcoin amount you're aiming for. Put all your focus in there. Don't listen to all those naysayers around you that want to ridicule you, laugh at you, tell you you're mad. Every time there's a price drop, they want to ring you or message you saying, have you seen what's happened to Bitcoin? It's crashed. You've got to ignore all of that, and you've got to ride the emotional roller coaster that is Bitcoin growth over time. So have a clear vision of your future and then take action every day to move towards it. You know why? Because you deserve it. And if you get into Bitcoin and you get in that rabbit hole and you learn what I've learned over 3 years and really embrace it and not just do it because you got to, want to be in there, want to be watching other people's shows. Look, people, I'll tell you, Proud Zionist Jew is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister. His channel was taken down the same time as mine or before mine. We've got them back, but he had a backup channel, Proud Zionist Jew, that he's in the chat with. And I have followed Bitcoin Meister's videos every single solitary day for 3 years and 1 month. Even the Saturday Beyond Bitcoins, where he talks about health and politics in America, which I don't really have any interest in, but I watched them all, and I'll tell you why. Because if I take just one nugget of information from something I don't even enjoy maybe, I've just educated myself that one nugget. Adam, that's not saying I don't enjoy your shows, because I really do. But sometimes when you do them at crazy o'clock in the morning, I'm not sitting up like Bitcoin to the moon is right now to be on them. But it is great to have you in the chat, by the way. So I follow BTC Sessions, Bitcoin and Coffee. I follow Simon Dixon from the UK. There's several content creators that I follow, which means Elaine's in the chat. Ask her. She refers to herself as the Bitcoin widow. In the morning, I'm watching videos when I wake. Before I go to sleep at night, I'm watching Bitcoin videos when I wake. I'm in trouble with my knee at the moment, so I'm relaxing a bit. It gives me a chance to see what other videos are going on out there. So I am taking action every day to learn in that rabbit hole, accumulate Bitcoin where I can for a better future for my family. My daughter Buffy, who's in the chat, my granddaughter Caitlin that sometimes comes in the chat. That's what I'm doing this for. So you need to be doing that, people. Okay, so that is my Bitcoin show for today. Let me bring me back up. Again, as always, pound the like button, please. Like this, share it, subscribe to the channel, bash the bell button. I need to go and have a shower. If you enjoyed the content, share it out on your social media platforms. Elaine, Mrs. UK said, clear vision. You can't see anything with them glasses. No, I can't. I'm still waiting for the part to come in from my glasses. I know Rocky said, look elsewhere, but those glasses have got a good prescription and I'd need to go and get that all done again. And it's a total train wreck. And if I bought them online, Rocky, and it went wrong, I'd still have to send them away. And I've gained nothing at all. So the woman said to me that it's due in today. So I'm praying, but I've had nearly 2 weeks of glasses that are 4 years out of date and I'm struggling to see some of the chat. So ha ha, Mrs. UK Bitcoin Master. So people, thanks for being on. Really appreciate it. It's melting. I want to get out of here. I'm going to put my social media links up. If you're listening to this on the podcast, you don't need to be worrying about any of that. You won't see it. You wouldn't have seen any of the articles, but they will be in the show notes within 5 minutes of me ending this call. So do go and check them out, even on the podcast. Actually, no, I don't put them in the podcast because it scrambles them all. Oh dear. There you go. It is what it is. So on YouTube, click on the squares as they come up. If you're watching this on DTube, if you're watching this on BitChute, Library, or lbry.tv, it's all on those. I'd encourage you to go and just like or subscribe to one other platform that I'm on so that you don't miss anything. That is it. I'm gone. Thanks, peeps. Thanks for your support. As always, tell your friends about my channel and bring them back so they can hear about it. Jean, all the rest of it, you're all welcome. If I've missed anybody, sorry. I'm out of here. Catch you all on Monday, 6 p.m. UK time. We are done. Bye.